Madam President, today I'm introducing the Prioritizing Our Workers Act, which will make changes to the current bankruptcy code, requiring companies going through bankruptcy proceedings to pay unpaid vested benefits, like workers' pension, before they pay out other claims against them. I firmly believe that no one should be denied their pension because their employer goes bankrupt. Hardworking men and women across the country go to work every day for years, paying into these pension plans each paycheck with the expectation that one day they can retire and provide for their families. Companies offering pension plans made promises to their workers and need to live up to those promises, no matter what else happens to that company financially. In West Virginia, we are far too familiar with coal and steel companies leaving their workers out to dry in this way. It's just absolutely unacceptable. So that's why I'm introducing this bill, and I look forward to my fellow senators join me to support and protect pensions across this country. I also, Madam President, rise today to call for immediate action on the Americans Miners Act. We have an obligation to the miners across America who served our nation by providing us with the energy throughout our greatest advancements. They deserve to know that their pensions, which they rightfully work for, will be funded fully, and they deserve to have accessible health care, which was guaranteed to them as well. As the Senate fails to act, we continue to put our retired miners' health care and pension benefits in jeopardy yet again. I have been working with everyone and from every angle in order to prevent our miners from losing their health care and retirement benefits. But once again, they are facing a deadline that puts their whole livelihood at risk. This has been a long fight, and it is far from over. Everyone who has joined me in this journey understands that fighting for working people is what we were sent here to do. These retired miners are walking the halls and fighting for what is rightfully theirs. I'm doing this for them and their families. I promise them that this body will not abandon them, and I refuse to let them down. The 1974 pension plan will be insolvent by 2022 if we do not act now. Miners who receive the health care through companies who went through bankrupt in 2018 are at risk of losing coverage in the coming months if we fail to act soon. Unlike many other public and private pension plans, the 1974 pension plan was well managed and 94% funded prior to the crash of 2008. However, the 2008 financial crisis hit at a time when this plan had its highest payment obligations due to retirements. If the plan becomes insolvent, these beneficiaries face benefit cuts, and the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation will assume billions of dollars in liabilities. To address this, we have to shore up the 74 pension plan, which is heading for insolvency due to the coal company bankruptcies and the 2008 financial crisis. Ensure that the miners who are at risk due to 2018 coal company bankruptcies will not lose their health care. And extend the Black Lung Disability Trust Fund Act at $1.10 per ton of underground mine coal and 55 cents per ton of surface mine coal for 10 years. West Virginia has more retired union miners than any other state. More than 27,000 retirees live in West Virginia alone. I have two letters that I'd like to read and enter into the record that basically explains what we're dealing with from all parts of our state. This is Roy from West Virginia, and he says, I'm 63 years old. I'm a third-generation coal miner. I started in the mine 3 days prior to graduating from high school. Unfortunately, I had to find other employment in 1999 after 27 years of mining because of the mine shutdown. Although the job that I was hired at paid a lot less, 75% less than what he was making before in the mines, I felt that we would survive because of the promise of lifetime health care. When I went into mining, I felt that if I put in my time, I would be taken care of in my older years. Now that I am approaching that stage of my life and are faced with the fact of healthcare concerns of people my age group, I am fearful of losing the security that my pension and health benefits will provide to me and my wife of 43 years. 14 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with severe rheumatoid arthritis. The cost of her medication alone would total more than my pension income, making retirement an impossibility. The idea of her not being able to receive the proper treatment for her condition is not an option. If necessary, I will continue to work to provide the medical care that she needs and deserves. He's asking this to me. He said, Senator Manchin, for the concerns that have been mentioned in this letter, I deeply appreciate the support that you have lent to the passage of the Minors Protection Act and hope that your fellow legislators will consider the same. This is Lisa from Fraser's Bottom in West Virginia. My husband was employed by the UMWA representing mine for the 34 years he worked in the mining industry. He worked a 6-day work week. He turned down some very promising job offers because we were always led to believe that after 20 years of the UMWA service, we would have family insurance for life. A large part of the reason he stayed loyal to the mining industry was because of the retirement pension and family health insurance we would have upon his retirement. He was injured on the job in 2013 and was unable to return to work. We had the comfort of knowing that he would be able to receive his pension and that the two of us would have no worries about health insurance. In April 2015, I was diagnosed with breast cancer that spread to my lymph nodes. I had chemotherapy from May 2015 to November 2015, followed by radiation that lasted until February 2016. I was hospitalized 3 times during treatment, had to undergo a lot of diagnostic testing, and a blood transfusion. Unfortunately, I was unable to finish my treatment due to this rigorous and intense treatment damaging my heart. I have to follow up with regular treatment by a cardiologist and now have frequent testing to make sure the cancer hasn't returned. Another side effect I have from having had chemotherapy is chemo-induced peripheral neuropathy that affects both my hands and feet. My medications cost several $100s a month. I am 53 years old and able to work due to all the side effects from my having cancer. My medical bills and medications have cost many thousands of dollars, and I don't have to worry about anything other than getting well, thanks to the UMWA insurance that we have. Since my husband can no longer work and I too am unable to work, our income has taken a downward turn. The security of having this insurance means the world to us. We're neither asking nor expecting nothing other than what we were promised and worked for. Please, please pass this Senate bill, not only for the two of us, but for the many other UMWA retirees and spouses that are also in the same situation. We have countless letters that come in on a weekly basis, and it's basically stories. The thing I'd want to make sure that all my colleagues know and all of America knows, the miners who provided the energy that built the industrial might that we have, the Industrial Revolution, who built the factories, they mined the coal, made the steel that built the factories, built the guns and ships that defended this country. They have given everything they've had. And this was a promise by the United States government in 1946. And because of the bankruptcy laws that erupted and basically evolved over the 1980s, they were left with nothing. And that's what they have. They didn't take home in a paycheck extra money. They didn't take home anything else except the promise and guarantee that they would have their health care and their benefits of a pension. The average pension for a miner retired is less than $600, and most of those are from widows. And this is something that we've promised. This is something we've worked for, we're fighting for, and I am not going to give up until this promise is fulfilled. Thank you, Madam President, and I yield the floor.